All right, welcome once again to another episode of the live stream. And today we're going to talk about something uh, pretty close to me. And we're going to subtitle this. Well, I'll give you the main title: Transforming Everyday Life into Cinematic Moments. How I turn ordinary family footage into visual stories. Now, most of my favorite shots, they weren't like planned on a set or me taking the time to write stuff down. They happened at home. My kids laughing in the kitchen, my wife by the window light, a road trip moment. Today, I'll show you how I turn real life clips into memories, cinematic memories, and how that process shaped my artistic journey, right? Um, Cinematic doesn't mean expensive, it means intentional. So there's a specific outcome that I want to obtain by trying to get these shots a specific way, right? Not leaving it up to chance. I remember, when I started filming, I thought cinematic meant like slow mo, uh, just the color grading, anamorphic flares. But it really hit me when I started to creatively challenge myself to make everyday moments almost seem like they were in a movie. And emotion makes the frame cinematic. That's what really makes it cinematic. Um, so that's where I learned, it's not really about the gear. It's all about the presence and what you want to capture, right? So, that's cinematography in a nutshell, right? Cinematography starts when you care enough to look twice, take in the moment. All right, cool. So I'll show you a few of the ones that I've gotten so far. So take a look at my screen. And these are a little bit earlier because my son's a little bit, he's more of a baby at that point. But just us going out to the park, kind of, you know, hey, listen, let's take the kids out to the park. I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring my camera. Seems like a nice day. Let's see what happens. So, it's just, thought it was super little at that point. Just us walking at the park. Yeah, I did that vertical thing. Zed chilling. He's super big now. There she is. Us just walking away, and that's it. There's another one of us when we went bowling. So this is just like, hey, let's go visit this new spot. It looks awesome. Let's go bowling. Um, there's some shots. It's just going there. It was my daughter's first time bowling. I was with my wife there. We were just chilling. That's another one right there. Us just doing our thing. A lot. Just shots of us just chilling. You know what I mean? It's by the park. Grandparents came over, and then we're just chilling. These just everyday moments. Just sharing. All right. Even stuff like that. Let me show you. I'll show it up to there. Look at that. The Parthenon light just coming in. Um, yeah. So let me actually put it right there. You know, I'll show you the elements that make it work or how I kind of set it up in a certain way. Let me show you right here. So, for example, I'll go with these right here. Just us by the tree at the park, huge open field. I just put the camera on a tripod, just let it record. And I didn't have a specific moment of time, but I wanted to capture the different angles, right? So it's one shot there, the other shot there, a little bit more open in the field, a little bit close up. My daughter right there, sun in the back, action happening. Us just walking through there. So, I knew I was going to use this in a reel. So it's like, nice and rectangular, light coming in through the sides. I figured we just, plop down the tripod and just walk on through. And that was it. It's one of my favorite shots, to be honest. Forgot how awesome that was. Like me just lit right there. Boom. Oh, right there. Um, you know, cinematic cinematic isn't this like huge thing. It's just noticing, the way the sunlight hits the skin and how the negative spaces and where the light's coming from and how we could frame it in a specific way. Um, Look for the light, the motion, and also the meaning. And it sounds a little cheesy, but it's not about this huge spectacle. It's just like in the little things. Um, and as you notice, like these colors, they show a little contrast, a little nostalgia. I don't have too much slow motion in here, but I do have like subtle music, a little bit of slower pacing, not so much like flash in your face. Um, this is home footage, so I treat the home footage like film scenes. You build tension with a little bit of silence. Release with a little bit of laughter, a little bit of emotion. Um, you know, when I edit my family footage, I'm not like chasing perfection. I just kind of want to, when I look back at it and see it, I'm preserving the feeling of that moment, right? I would say that filming my family taught me a lot about rhythm, uh, and how making content is could be just kind of incorporated into your life, into your rhythm, right? A lot of honesty, which is, hey, I'm not doing things that are super cool, like traveling all over the world at the moment, but let me be honest and what is it that I'm doing on a daily basis, and let me make that into my like let me bring that out, let me film that, because that's what I have, that's what I am. And also patience. It takes time. Um, and these are all things that I also bring into spec work, client work, all that professional stuff. Every project, even the corporate ones, they start with the same question: what does this moment mean? And you might think, well, in the professional space, when I'm doing clients, how does that tie into it? Well, that's what they're gonna feel, because the client, the brand, or whatever, that's their footage. So they're gonna feel a specific uh, moment in that, a specific emotion, if you edit with that in mind, right? Um, you know, your style isn't built in Premiere, the editing program. It's built in the moments you care to film. So that's why I wanted to just take it everywhere I went. Like I just took the camera and started, working on the color grade, working on the pacing. For example, like I wanted to show like the small little moments. Like for example, even this one right here. I know it's a little bit flipped because I wanted to do a vertical, but just me. See, just my wife's doing the homeschool thing with my daughter, and I'm just in the back. They're out of focus. The focus is on me, and I'm just, it's like you kind of get that, kind of get that. I also did this one, a little bit of slow motion on that. Um, I just noticed that there wasn't too much light coming in that way. Um, and it's just like us. There's a lot of light coming in the other way, and it was just like a cloudy day, and we're just indoors, just chilling, and yeah, giving my son a little kiss, and that's it. Let me see. These are just us kind of going to the park. Me giving my son a kiss. Us at the park. This big tree. You know, and then just framing everything exactly how we wanted. Like even these shots right here. Like just we just chilling right there. A little bit of movement on there. Wide shot showing what it is, where you're at, how the day was, shadows are at. Now, have you noticed that, like, you see the path, it's like triangular. Well, it's straight when you look at it, but from the camera's perspective, it's kind of like just going this way, like leading towards the middle. And that's what I wanted to do here specifically. So, again, it's just more of the more I get to look at these, the more I take my camera out, the more I see these moments that I'm just like, wait a minute, let's film it right here. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, I'd rather have tried to make it work than not, right? So this, look at this one right here. And this one kind of ties into this us walking away. And here I got them a wide shot of them eating lunch. Brought some lunch that we can eat right there. And that's all of us together, just chilling. And then see, look, another shot of that, us walking away right here. See that? So it's one place like that, with the pathway. And I don't know if you noticed, there's, as we're walking, we're in between two trees right here. So I think that really caught my attention because it's like two trees, right? It's kind of like framing within the framing, and then the pathway going to it. It's just a fantastic shot. And then back to the bridge. Look at that. And again, all these sound effects are added in, but we'll sound design. We'll talk about that some other time. And let's see, that was it. Saw that one, the Parthenon. We saw that one. Yeah, man. So it's just a lot of these things, trial and error. I think this is one of the first times I actually tried to do it. She's telling me, yo, go get the camera. See, we just wide shot and then close up shot. See this huge tree right there. I'm like, oh, I got to get that. That was it, you know? Thought that was pretty awesome. Even just thought it right here in this shot like that. Looks pretty dope. And yes, I did use a bloom filter on that. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap it up with this. I'll leave it with this last line. Hold on, one second right here. Which one? Let's see, MC, you still there? Which one is the best editing, Premiere Pro or DaVinci Divine Resolve? I'm sure you meant DaVinci. I would say it depends. I already did a video on this. Funny enough, it depends on what you're actually, what your preference is and what your workflow is. That's what really matters. DaVinci Resolve, I know a lot of people use that for color. I know a lot of people strictly go for that. They might still edit in Premiere Pro and then kind of choose to color grade there and then come back. But it really depends on what you want to do and what you're more comfortable with. And DaVinci has a lot of things, even out of the color grading area. It has a lot of cool stuff. So, I mean, if that works for you, which one is the best editing program? I think it's the wrong question. I would say the better question is, which one is the best editing program that could fit into your workflow? You know, everybody kind of dabbles in a little bit with one program here, one program there, and they don't learn it all the way. I would probably suggest you just learn everything 100% from one program, and then you can move on to the next one. That way, you can at least get some kind of closure. All right, cool. So I'll leave with this outro. Cinematic isn't what you shoot. It's how you see. All right. So next time life happens, no matter what it is, don't filter, just film it. Not for social, not for perfection, but because these are your building blocks as an artist. Everything that I've developed has been me practicing while I'm filming my family. And it doesn't have to be, if you don't have a family or whatever, film your everyday life and take that challenge. If you live in one room with just on a mattress, then that's what you do. Film that. So take one clip this week, whatever moment, edit it, and then, edit it like it belongs in a film somewhere. And you can tag me, and then I'll feature it on my favorites next week. So, guys, thank you for watching.